Hello guys, Kepish, I'm now here with a new video for Professional Fishing 2, the playtest. And I'm now in the second area. It's a mountain area. You can see this is totally different from the first area. It's like a mountain area. You got clear waters. You fish here for trout and salmon. So there are other species here. But I'm not going to show you guys in this video the area. I'm going to talk about the spin fishing. So I was already a little bit worried about the spin fishing, and I was right. It's very bad executed in this game. It's not really fun. There are not a lot of options that you can do. I was worried that there will be no presentation. That was true. There is simply no presentation that you can do here. The handling is really bad. It goes way too slow. The lures, I don't understand it, why he want to do that. It's not great either. The casting, if it was already a problem with bottom and float setups, here it's a very big problem, the casting animation. The net, it's a cool feature, but it doesn't really shine that well if you need to move a lot, and that's what you do if you fish in an area like this. But let's get started first with the start. So I'm going to show you guys something. So in this game, you can, what I saw was, you can spin fish with the spinning setup, and you can spin fish with the feeder setup too. That's what I saw. I don't think that you can do it with the float setup. I can have a look here. So here is a feeder setup. You can see that you can click here, the feeder setup. You can put it on spinning. It's realistic, that's true, but at the end, I got my thoughts about it. He does not need to remove that for me, but I just going to give my feedback. This got a casting weight of 100 gram to 300 gram. That are very big lures. Most of the time you use them in the sea. Maybe that's the plan, I don't know. But if you fish now with this setup, and you throw it in the water, you don't throw that far, because that's normal. This is a very heavy setup. It's not going to cast the lures that far. So it's a very cool feature, but I think by myself, is there anybody ever going to use this? That's the question. Just a side note, I don't think that you can do it with the bamboos. That's something that I don't understand. So you can do it with heavy feeder setup, but you cannot do it with the bamboo pole. So why? What is the difference? That's the question. Because I would think, if somebody starts the game, this is a starting rod. With this rod, you can float fish, but you cannot spin fish. So I would think, change that a little bit at the end. So let's have a look that I'm right. Can I put... No. So I cannot spin fish with the float set. That's number one. Then the next one. So this is a setup that you can buy now. This is a spinning setup. There is one, a purely spinning setup. So I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a light setup. So you can see it here. The casting weight is here. That's good. I did some testing with the lures. If I get a 2 gram on it, does it throw a little bit less far? That's true. So if you stay in this weight class, and you take 7, that throws further than 1 gram. That's normal, because the weight is bigger, you need to throw further. I don't see anything different if you go outside the casting weight, so an 8 is going to throw a little bit further. Normally, that's not really the case. Normally, if you go outside and you got with a bigger weight, you damage most of the time your rod. But that's not the case here. Is that a problem? In my opinion, not really, but the casting weight need to matter. That's what I see. But I didn't test it that much. But if I see that a bigger lure throws further than a smaller lure, it's already good for me. So I don't see really a problem in it. I see that the handling is here, it's good. So this is what the casting or the spinning rod need to look like. Smaller than the bamboos and the bottom rods. So that's good. But then the next one, and that's for me something that is very strange. So I'm going to talk about the lures. So until now, we fished with float setups, we fished with bottom setups. Hook size matters in this game. If you got a smaller hook, you get smaller fish, you can get a bite of a bigger fish too. But what do you do if you want to go for bigger fish? You get a bigger hook. That's how it works. If you want to go for big tanks, you go with the 2-hook because that's the biggest one. But that system is totally gone if you go to the lures. And he takes a really bad system in my opinion. So you got soft plastics. First of all, there is no jig-head in this game. If you equip it, you see the jig-head, but it's not in the game. So another thing that I don't understand, so the weight is good, the length is good, that's all good. But then he starts using for fish in a certain kilogram. And that's something that I don't understand. I'm not a fan of this. So the entire game is based on hook size, then you go to lure fishing and then it stops. But that's very problematic because you got twisters here. You got here a shed. And then you got here, this is a top water, this one. And what is the problem that you can see right away? That the size starts always very low. So what is the problem that you will create if you don't use the hooks? That on every lure in this game, does not really matter how big they are, you're going to get small fish. And that's the problem if you don't work with hooks. So you can see, I can throw this 21 gram in the water and I will get a 500 gram fish. And therefore, I'm not a fan of this system. I never was a fan of this system. You need to introduce hook size. So very simple, just put here hook 2, hook 1.0 or something that we know. What is the hook size on this? And then in combination with the lure, how big he is, you can target bigger fish. That's not the case at this moment. You will catch small fish on a very big lure like this. And that's not so good. That's a problem for me. Okay, that was the lures. And then the next step. So I'm going to talk briefly about the net. So the net, I think it's a very cool feature, but it shines really well if you stay stationary. And that's the big problem if you start spin fishing. An area like this, what I do, I just move around. Because what I see is I came to this area, I had 5 to 6 fish in the morning, I had even the 5-star brook trout, but then it dries up. So on that moment I move. With spin fishing you move a lot more than with bottom and float fishing. But that's the problem with the net. Then you got a very big problem with the net system that he got here, because every time you need to do this, you move a little bit further, you need to put it out your net. So here we go. So I like the net feature, but for spin fishing it's not the best what we can have. What is the solution? I don't know. That's why the two biggest fishing games don't use a net. So that's my feedback on the net. So many times that I moved, that I thought, okay, it's that here, I move around. It's just interrupting the fishing too much, placing the net the entire time in spin fishing. That's what I want to say. Okay, and now we are going to start, because you guys thought it was already bad until now, but now it's really getting bad. So then the fishing. And there was already a feedback on the forums that the animation is way too long on the casting, and that's true. But once that you need to start casting a lot, and that's something that you do a lot in spin fishing, because you always get the lure back to yourself, you need to cast again, you throw out, then you see how bad it's starting to become. So first of all, how many times that I did this, that's like muscle memory for me, because in every other fishing game you click the left mouse button, you got the power bar and you throw. But that's not the case in this game. So this is a short cast. I'm not really sure it's really needed on spin fishing. So the short cast is not needed on spin fishing, simply. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever do this? Throw in front of your feet. So then the second one. So you need to keep clicking the right mouse. That's already 7 seconds. And then this was a problem in Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2. So I think I hit the rocks. So my lure is now hitting the rocks, I think, but I'm not sure. Then the reeling in. It goes really slow, and what can you see now? There is totally no presentation in this game. So everything works like this. You just reel in. Another thing, the handling on this rod, way too slow. I read in the roadmap that you want to get presentations in the game, but if you want to do twitching, this is slow motion, by the way. This need to be a lot faster. For twitching, you do this. I cannot show you guys it because it goes way too slow. And I think that I got a fish. Yeah, I got a fish. That's another thing. It's very hard to see that we got a fish on. Somewhere he need to show, and we can move now. This is something that he fixed. That's really good. You can move now with the net. So yeah, my net is gone, I think. It's your happy day, Brookie. So you can go back in the water. Here we go. Very nice fish. So that's a lot of problems. So a little bit recap. The casting is really bad. So what does he need to do? It's very simple. He needs to start using a marker here too. So that you can just put a marker. He can keep... I know he want to give the touch on his own game. I know that. But at some point, there is nothing wrong to just copy the good things about other fishing games. And what can he do? If he wants to keep his blue, like, he likes this. So the longer you push, the further you can go. Do that with right too. So just do the same with the long casts. Get rid of the animation. It looks cool, but it's so frustrating. So just get a blue marker, and that I can put a blue marker on the location, and that I just then power, or just get a blue marker and that it goes further away with getting more power in your bar. But this is not good. This is simply not good because, yeah, this is happening, by the way. If I want to cast over here, how can I do that? It was just the same in Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2. They got the same in 1. They got the same in 3. It's like they always want to get that in the game, but it will never work. It's just frustrating that you need to use that. Yeah, and then the presentations is very important. Somewhere an indicator that I can see when I got a bite, because it's very hard to see. So you guys can see it. This game needs a lot of work on the spin fishing. Because what is happening, this is what is happening. So you do this, then you do this, you just reel. That's all what you do with the spin fishing. The only thing that probably matters is what kind of lure that you use and what kind of fish is in the area. But this is something that a 2-year-old can do too. It's like, this is not fishing. You just do this the entire time, and you hope for the best. So there is not a lot more. I'm going to do just the same like in cast number 1. Another thing. So I was looking a little bit to the casting system. So I went to the bottom setup, and what I saw, if I do a long cast, look at the bar, how fast it goes. And I was thinking, that's strange. Why is that? And then I realized that the time that you need to cast depends how far you can throw, I think. So this is only 8 meters. So therefore, I think that the bar goes so fast. So you can see 7 meters far. But if I do it with the spinning setup, it takes a longer time. So you can see it here. So it's a little bit a power bar that is using, because the longer that you need to push it, the further that you throw. But the problem is it takes way too long. That's the problem. That's something that I saw on the side. So that was my feedback, guys. Thanks for watching. Have fun. And I see you guys in next video. Bye-bye.